You can plan all you like, but if you don't actually change the behaviours people do on a day-to-day basis, nothing in the business will actually change, and you'll never actually implement Agile or any other changes. Welcome back, and number 3 on our 6 deadly Agile sins of implementations is failing to manage the change aspect of the transformation. So you can put all the plans you want in place, but ultimately you need the people who are doing things to change what they're doing on a day-to-day basis to produce different outcomes. So to do this, you need to focus a lot of the actual efforts of the change not on the structural change, but on how are people going to work differently day to day and in their lives. What different group behaviours are there going to be? What different meetings are you going to have? What different decisions are going to be made? To do this, you want to look at it through the perspective of the average user or the average operator, and think about, well, what are they actually going to be doing differently? How is their life going to be better or worse from this? And I can guarantee you it has to be better, or else it's not going to stick. If you're in an organisation, which software companies are, where people have a fair amount of autonomy, you've got a lot of smart people in there, you're going to have to ensure that the new way basically is more reinforcing. People like it better than the old way, or else it's just never going to go in. It's going to be very hard to get people to adopt it and get in touch with those new habits to do. So have a look and have a talk to people. Don't try and guess about this stuff. Actually go out there and talk to everybody in the teams that are going to be making these changes. What do you like about how work's managed now? What do you not like about it? What do you like about the way meetings are run, decisions are made? What do you not like about those? Now, some of these things are going to be somewhat forced. For example, if you're putting sprints in, that time box structure is sort of a requirement if you're doing sprints. But around it, there's a lot of decisions that can be made that are quite flexible and can be made to support what do people like to do. If you've got teams that like to communicate more, well, then you should have more of those steps in place. If you've got teams that would rather there be clear visibility of where things are at in the sprint, for example, or whatever they're doing, but they'd rather not have to communicate so much. I'd rather update something so it's visible to everybody. Great, focus on that side of it. Ultimately, people are going to have to adopt a new behaviour set, and they've got a bunch of habits and everything that are going to get in the way of that. Not because they're being malicious, but just because we've got ingrained habits. That's the way we're used to doing things. Our brain literally finds those activities easier to do because we're so used to them than the new things. So firstly, you've got to overcome the just habit that if I'm not thinking, I'm going to switch back into the old way mode. And secondly, even when you then engage your sort of conscious mind to do these new things, you need them to be more reinforcing, and you need them to be accessible to do. Something seen with various change projects over the years is when people want there to be a change, but they say, oh, now you've got to go update this, and it's in some obscure system somewhere, difficult to log into, or you've got to go do that, and it takes a whole pile of time and awkward things to do throughout people's day. They're very slow to adopt these things. It's very hard to do. So you want whatever you're doing to be easier and easily accessible to people. You want those new habits to be formed. Do whatever it takes. Depends on the people you've got. Some people find something's more reinforcing than others, like we looked at with the communicate versus visualization. Same with when you're making change projects in a team. Making it a fun environment where you're, throwing lollies around the place, reinforcing people for what they're doing will work great for some teams, and others will stare at you like, this is ridiculous, I'm not a child. So see who you have in the teams and what reinforces them, but ultimately you want to do whatever it is, make it a big event for the team, and make it a fun, reinforcing activity for people to get into, to be part of this change, rather than, it's just a bunch of new processes, new mechanisms that now you have to do and tick off on a sheet to do with your job. It's never going to work. You've got to get people fully involved, you've got to get those behaviours changing, and you've got to get people wanting to do it to be successful in any sort of transformation, but especially in this kind of agile transformation. If you found this video useful, make sure to share it with others who can get value from it too. Don't forget to say hi in the comments below, love to hear from you, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more of these each day. Cheers, see you later.